And so thanks everybody for being here for the latest TechCom Tools podcast. I'm Matt Sullivan, and today we're talking to Kane Jamison of Content Harmony up in Seattle. Hey. And Kane is the founder of Content Harmony. They do content strategy and measurement for mid-sized companies. We'll have Kane talk a little bit more about that, but we're going to talk today about his presentation for LavaCon in October. Kane, how are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me, Matt.
Excellent. Glad to have you on board here. And so we got you speaking up in LavaCon in October, so that's going to be up in your neck of the woods, right? We're up in the Pacific Northwest for that, right?
Yeah, Portland. It's a short trip. Train ride, not a plane ride.
Yeah. I like the ones I can drive to or, at least stay on the ground. It usually works out better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's far enough to stay overnight for a few days. So.
Yep. Now you are, so you're a bit outside the TechCom community, yes? You're more in the content marketing, content strategy, and web industries. So how'd you hear about LavaCon and how'd you get involved with speaking with them?
So I'm friends with some folks in the, pure content strategy community around here in Seattle. So I've known about LavaCon through them for a little while, and then spoke with Jack online a little bit about kind of what they were looking for this year's schedule and topics they wanted to cover, and him and I kind of reached the conclusion that risk management for content creation would be a good session from a couple of the ideas that I had that we could go forward with. As I like to say, we do more content marketing and not content strategy, and like we were saying before, it's a bit of a Venn diagram, I think, as far as the overlap between the two.
Yeah.
So I think that puts me a little bit outside the normal TechCom and IA, UX, CS community, but still very much involved in a lot of the same elements.
Cool. Yeah, it's like you said, it's this insane series of overlapping Venn diagram circles, and we all seem to be kind of like focusing. Everybody seems to be coming in toward that middle, and what was TechCom and was strategy and was marketing and marketing in general, but it all kind of blends into the same thing. So it'll be good to have your viewpoint from a bit outside of the strict TechCom community and more the hey, this is marketing as it is today.
Yeah, I think everybody thinks their part of the Venn diagram's the biggest part, and everybody else fits inside of what they do.
Yeah, this is how you relate to me.
Yes, exactly. So whatever helps the view of where you're at in the circles, I think works just fine.
I like to say, just in terms of how people view themselves, I've often said that in online training, which I do quite a bit, every online trainer thinks or every software instructor for that matter, thinks they're the best software instructor in the whole world. So, and so we all have a none too subtle image of ourselves.
Well, it takes a little self-confidence to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Stand up in front of people, notwithstanding. So, when we do these kinds of conferences, maybe the toughest thing in getting people into your room, other than obviously your reputation and the folks that have seen you speak, is we're limited to a really short title and then almost as short a description, right? So what is it? This is your chance to kind of expound. What are some of maybe the high points or the things that you want people to know that aren't going to fit inside of that short description?
Sure. Well, I don't think the descriptions for the sessions are on the website. I think they'll probably be in the printed one, but I'll give you the short paragraph version of that before I go in deeper. And that is, many companies are making content publishing a bigger part of their marketing strategy, but not all of them have a full understanding of the pitfalls that come with the territory of creating and publishing content. So what I'm going to do is look at how content creators can apply existing risk management industry concepts to the content creation process. Anything from setting goals, managing internal and external contributors and freelancers, maintaining quality while staying on track and on budget, avoiding promotional failures more towards the marketing side, and things of that nature. And so the general structure of the presentation is looking at risk management concepts from the real estate industry on one hand, and portfolio management and investment on the other hand. And so on a pure large project basis, I don't think there's any better example than something like a skyscraper or a bridge or a tunnel or whatever. And these people have many hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of man hours planned out perfectly by stage. And I think that's something that we don't totally need to reinvent the wheel just for a 200-hour interactive project. And I don't come from a trained project management background, so this is a lot of stuff that I've had to learn myself along the way. And so I think the session will be good for other people that don't necessarily have a strict project management type of training under their belt, but are still nevertheless involved in project management for content and for promotion and social media and all these other elements, and keeping all of these plates spinning at once. And so, like I said, one side of it is related to project management controls and things like that you might see in a large real estate development or skyscraper or something like that. And the other one is looking at more like a portfolio risk management. Like over the course of a large number of content projects, that's not much different than assembling a stock or investment portfolio. You're trying to mitigate risk by spreading out your efforts and diversifying them among different concepts and formats and topics, all to kind of average out into one return on investment from your content efforts. So it's basically taking that analogy a lot further and looking very specifically at those types of risk management concepts as it applies to what we do.
Cool.
So I probably just got rid of 80% of the people watching it, but the 20% of the people that are left are on the same page as I am and are probably very interested.
Well, from the content marketing side, allowing people to self-select is half the game. So
sure. Yeah, that's true. We're putting it out there, and people that find it have, like you said, self-selected and being interested in what we are talking about. So I guess the session titles aren't too different. I think probably what I'm bringing to the table differently than a lot of AutoCon speakers is we are fully on the marketing side of the table. We're helping our clients increase visibility, increase traffic, increase sales and conversions, increase measurement of all these marketing initiatives, and for the most part, digitally. And I know a lot of other people are involved in marketing in much different capacities. So I think being on that production end might help somebody that's further up the chain on the strategy and planning side see a different point of view as well. My background is largely small businesses, so I have this tendency to wear many hats and try and get things done as efficiently and effectively in a small time frame as possible. So that's probably going to be reflected in the talk compared to somebody that's used to having thousands of hours available for single projects. So
yeah. I was reading, I don't know if you saw, I think it was yesterday or the day before maybe, there was a really good article on Boardly, I think, had an article, a blog post about being a specialist versus a generalist. So as you were talking about having to wear all those hats versus the ability to choose your specific channel manager for that part of your social media plan. Right, you have to be able to absorb all this, get it all balanced out, do customer service, and by the way, maintain the website. So, yeah.
I appreciate specialists for what they're capable of doing, but I am by all means more of a generalist and jack of all trades, and I think those people are the glue that keeps all of the other specialists together. Honestly, I think that's appropriate. I'm not firmly in the startup community, but I know that's a pretty common thing, is to see founders go to more nominal roles and replace themselves with CEOs that are used to managing 100 or 200 or 1,000 person company after they get to scale. And it's definitely different people are meant for different positions in there. I personally would not do well inside of a large company floating around as one person in the mix. I do a lot better with a smaller mid-size team and managing a lot of things. So I think if that person can learn good management skills, that's the natural progression, because if they have experience in all the elements that they're managing, they're going to be a lot more empathetic and understanding of the challenges and abilities of the specialists that they're managing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like, so the topic that you're speaking on, this sounds like, as far as the risk management for the content creation, this is something that you're advising your clients on a regular, is that part of your portfolio services?
Well, we do help clients with strategy and planning. A lot of times strategy and planning will be, here's the concept, we're going to help you build the content and promote it. Either help them do it all ourselves or guide them in doing it themselves. So we work with clients on a bunch of different levels, the content creation portion. And then often we're doing, we might hand off owned media and social media and email marketing all to the client to handle internally if that's something they've got built out internally, and we might take over kind of earned media, email outreach and promotion, something like that, and then they might have a paid media team, or that might be something that we handle for a project if there's budget for that. And then the measurement and analytics side, we're working with our team to measure campaign performance or ongoing effort performance, usually Google Analytics, something like that. So within the context of this presentation, it's very much about how we approach project management for large and ongoing content projects that we build ourselves for clients.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the, doing this promotion for LavaCon for a number of the different, key speakers, I think my trouble is going to be in deciding since I get all the good pitches, trying to figure out which ones I'm going to be able to go to. I know he's talking about doing some virtual tracks, doing some recordings of it. So I'm looking forward to probably having to catch a number of the overlapping sessions via the virtual track. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the schedule for at least a few weeks now. I remember the people that I'm overlapping with, I think, are talking about fairly different topics. I don't think any of them are in the project management or content creation realm. I could be wrong. I don't want to step on anyone's toes.
Never know.
I think I'm the only one talking about that during that session. So I don't know if it'll be of interest to somebody that has project management training other than seeing somebody else's perspective on it. But I think for other people that don't have that background, it would be valuable. At least for anticipating some of the things that we've encountered along the way.
Yeah. Well, I know you and I both have our registrations already taken care of, but the for those that are going to register, I think I saw about the middle of September there's a pretty big spike in the registration rate. So for your folks, let them people that might be coming either to see you or just come LavaCon in general. I think there's I think it's close to 50%, I think, as far as the up from the current price to that price afterwards. So, if you guys are if you guys are watching this, there's going to be a registration link below the article, whether this is on YouTube or on the TechCom Tools website. You'll get a registration link. You can go directly there and just get the same. It's going to route you actually right to the registration page, so there's no question about same rate and all that good stuff. So, cool. All right. Well, you got anything else interesting coming up? Good summer plans? Is the company going public? Do we get in on the IPO?
Right now we're doing a sponsorship at Content Marketing World for anybody that'll be there in Cleveland in beginning of September. So we're getting a lot of stuff together for that.
Yeah.
We've got a video contest that we're going to be hosting at our booth and a few other giveaways and things like that. They're going to be pretty fun. Yeah. So working on that, and we're doing a small series of mini books that we're going to release. One is a guide to content marketing strategy, structured as kind of an essentials. If you were to do a single 8-hour day conversation, and that was the entire time you had allotted for your content marketing strategy, here are all the questions that you have to address during that time. So it's kind of meant to be we know you're busy, but you're not too busy to at least address this once before you keep going willy-nilly with all your content creation.
You're busy, but
stuff that
suck it up.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not saying you need to take a week off to do it, but you need to take some time and sit down and figure out
your medicine
before you keep blasting away.
Yeah, I had a so I was running a 3-hour social media class for a few people just before this, and kind of said that same thing. It's like, hey, we know you don't want to spend all your day doing this stuff. You've already downloaded your social media calendar. You know it's there. You filled it out. guess what? Now you have to actually follow it and follow through on creating all that content that you promised yourself or told yourself was really important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, the way we break it down is very much like who, why, how, what, where, when kind of focus. Okay. Let's answer these 12 essential questions. Why are we doing this? Who are we doing this for? What are we going to talk about? Why are we going to talk about that?
Yeah.
The really, really essential high-level stuff that you have to address before you just keep going.
Yeah.
I think if you don't have that stuff documented, I know Content Marketing Institute has done a lot of great studies on self-reported success of people that have a documented content strategy, content marketing strategy in place versus self-reported performance results of people that don't.
Yeah.
And I think it's something along the lines of 80% of the people that report great or better success have a documented content strategy. Of the people that don't have a documented content marketing strategy, they on average report average or okay
or subpar.
Yeah.
Well, I did a presentation. I think it was for LavaCon last year, and I don't know if you've seen the CMI video. It's like the evolution of social media. And they have like a 2 or 3 minute thing. It's just like grinding, pumping music, and just timelines. It's the quintessential social media from time zero on the timeline. All the way up to like the Iron Age, and then from there forward. And it's
I'm a big fan of the John Deere magazine. The Furrow is one that they always cite as a good example.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that was in there.
I've got a couple of them from the 40s and 50s that we found on eBay to have around the office that are just great because you can really see all these lessons that we're preaching as new stuff now that somebody was handling in the 40s and 50s and shipping by mail to local distributors. And,
content marketing from the 40s. Or wherever it was. I can't remember the timeline, but yeah. Yeah, that's and kudos to you for getting involved with CMI. I mean, I know I've been eyeing that. It's like I hover over that registration link. Am I going to pass this by the wife and the kids? But I don't think I'll make it this year, but I would almost guarantee I'll be there next year, at least as an attendee.
It's hard to stay on top of all of them. That's our only one for September and or August, and we're taking 3 team members, so we're showing up in half force, not quite full force. And nothing again till October and November.
Got it. Do you ever been involved in the Social Media Examiner events?
No, the virtual ones that they do. They have virtual events.
Yeah, so they have an online virtual conference, which is coming up soon. But then there's also the Social Media Marketing World in San Diego, and that's a neat one.
Okay. I think they do a virtual component of that one that I've tuned into once or twice, but I haven't been down there for the live version.
That's I think you'd find that one a worthwhile one. Yeah. But I'll trade you CMI for an SMMW. I was on a panel at SMX Social last fall talking about content creation and how it ties in with social channels, and there's some obvious elements and some less obvious elements, obviously. Right.
But, I like being in at a social conference. It's a good changeover from some of the ones I'm used to in the more content and search marketing side of things.
Yeah. I was struck by, at the upper echelons of all those conferences, excuse me, you've got, people that float in those circles, and they're regular presenters and stuff like that. And I looked at the ones down in San Diego. I looked at the guys that were doing the presentations and knew, more or less the movers and shakers within that industry. And I was like, they look a whole lot happier than I do much of the time. And I'm thinking that they dine in a better class of restaurant. So I was like, we need to start looking at that a little bit tighter.
Could be something there.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, cool. You got anything else that you got? Oh, I want to ask about the book. You said you've got the book and the series and whatnot. How are you guys pushing that out? Are you doing it, like a drip over like an Aweber or something like that? Or you actually releasing it as a book or a download? What's the deal?
So these ones, they're going to be little mini books. If you're familiar with kind of the little moleskin books about that size,
Okay.
they're similar. A cardboard printer out of Portland, actually, called Scout Books.
Cool.
And they've done, you see them at conferences quite often as blank notebooks that are given away. We're just doing a custom printed one where there's not lines on the inside. There's actually content in the book.
Cool.
So it's going to be, thin, fit inside a conference bag. We'll be doing that as a one of the swag bag things for
Sure.
Content Marketing World, and then another one in the fall, and then we'll probably have really cheap copies to buy off the website, $4 or $5, something like that we'll mail out to people as well. And then I think towards the end of this month or beginning of September, we're going to release it as a SlideShare or video version as well,
Okay.
and go through the same components in a similar kind of visual format. So
Excellent.
we're going to repurpose it in a lot of different ways, and that'll be the first planned book in the series. We've got a few other ones we want to do over the next year. So this is just the starting point.
As a content marketer would.
Yes, absolutely. Get as much mileage out of the one topic as
Yeah.
we can without annoying anybody.
Yeah. Well, let me know. If you've got some of those links available in the coming weeks, certainly before the conference.
Yes.
When you think about it, pitch them that way. Pitch them over the wall toward me, and I will get them on
Yeah,
the
sure.
YouTube comments and post the links on the TechCom Tools blog site as well. Yeah.
Great. I don't know when this video is going to be published, but if you go to contentharmony.com/books, that'll be the URL that'll have some information on it. So we probably should have something up there towards end of August, early September. And
easy.
we've got our mailing list on the website if anybody really wants to get
Sure.
the announcement when we release it. So
Well, we're at August 8th today, and this will likely go up by we're Friday, and probably go up at least by Monday. So I'll pitch you the link for the YouTube. Well, basically the
Great.
blog post showing you the YouTube link, and then we'll be good there, and then we'll just go from there. Of course, you can always go and throw in the comments and whatnot, and we can add that to the gist of the description as well. Cool.
perfect. Thanks, Matt.
Absolutely. Kane, thanks for being here, and good luck with Content Harmony. I do hope to see you. I know I'm going to see you at the conference, so you're in Pacific Northwest, or so I expect some good beer tips for Portland.
All of them. They're all good.
Yeah, that's the problem. Okay,
Picking
thanks
it up.
everybody, and I'll talk to y'all soon.